Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. And yes, I have moved again. So I'm now back in the UK. I'm going to be here for just over a month celebrating Christmas here with friends and family and Charlie, and it's super lovely to be home. Super wintry, really festive. Hope you guys are getting in the mood wherever you are. And of course though, coming from somewhere like Dubai where it was super warm and sunny and my skin was absolutely loving it, come back here, let's just say that my skin does not love winter as much as I do. I have been back now for just over 10 days, and around the first 4 or 5 days, my skin was absolutely fine. It looked great, but then I did start to notice that my skin was getting drier and itchier, and I was kind of waking up in the middle of the night feeling sort of itchy on my legs. And I do have some problem areas, which I'm sure you guys, if you have watched a few of my videos, you know that that is around my lips, around my neck and on my hands, and they have started to react. But of course, I have been doing a few different things, taking a few measures now to try to protect my skin as much as possible from that change of season. And I thought today would be useful if I kind of go through those with you guys and show you my sort of day-to-day routine. And you will notice that I use a lot of different products, a lot of different types of moisturizers, and that is because my skin is the type of skin that needs a rotation in terms of the products that it uses. And that is because if I overuse on one particular moisturizer or one particular product, after a while, for some reason, my skin starts to get irritated by it and I have to change to something else. So what I do need to do, I do need to rotate the products that I use on a daily basis, and that is the most effective method for me in order to protect my skin and keep it sort of healthy. I should also mention that the products that I use are kind of personal to me. You do not have to use these particular products. If you have moisturizers and creams that are your favorites, definitely stick to those. Everyone's skin is different. And but of course, if you are kind of in the market sort of looking for a few things, then you might find some of these suggestions helpful. And I would also recommend watching my video on moisturizers, which I put out recently, and how they work, because I think it will give you a little bit more knowledge in terms of why I am using the different types of moisturizers at particular points during the day. And it will also mean that you understand what transepidermal water loss means. So definitely watch that video first. And before we get into the actual video, I would really appreciate it if you liked, and if you haven't already, please subscribe so you can see more videos about skin, hair and health in general. Good morning everyone, it is 7 AM and I look extremely attractive at the moment. And the first thing that me and Charlie do every single day is we go for a walk on the rise. So it is super important while the weather is quite cold, sometimes it's quite rainy, is to protect your face from the elements basically. So what I do is first thing, as soon as I get up, is I rinse my face with some warm water. And I do make sure it's warm, because if it's really cold, then that's like not a very pleasant experience first thing in the morning. And then I cover it with some moisturizer. So the moisturizer I use is this one that I found in Copenhagen, and I absolutely love it. It's 24 Timers Cream by a brand called eCooking. I've never heard of that before, but kind of a weird name, but it's really, really, really nice. This moisturizer is great in the cold. It is not so great in hot temperatures, because it essentially acts as like a bit of like a protective barrier. So when you're really, really hot, it actually like kind of traps your sweat underneath and it feels really unpleasant. But for this season in the winter, it is great. I absolutely love it. So I put this all over my face, eyes, neck, mouth, everywhere. And yeah, I just kind of leave that on, let that soak in. It soaks in really easily, and it is just, yeah, perfect thing for first thing in the morning.
It's a cool hard world outside my window. Ooh, where people don't know which way
rainy morning walk. It was today. It's time for my morning shower. So I would say that every other day I actually do a workout, and then I will obviously have a shower after I've worked out. But today we are just going to jump straight in. So when it comes to showering and getting your skin wet, there are a few things we do need to think about, because when your skin gets wet, it is actually more prone to becoming more dry than it was before. And the reason being is because when your skin is wet, what can happen is eventually as the water evaporates out of your skin, it will take with it some of that water that was in the skin already. So it will feel a bit drier than it was before. But there are a few things we can do to counter that, and it can also be a really good opportunity to be adding a little bit of extra moisturizer and making sure that our skin is nice and protected throughout the day. So in terms of the products that I'm using, I do keep it quite simple in the shower, really nothing very exciting or glamorous at all. So this is the shower gel that I have invested in. So it's something called Sanex, which is a brand in the UK, and this is the Dermo Moisturizing Hydrates and Softens Skin, and it is specifically for normal to dry skin. So there's loads of different options like these available on the market. If you can't find this specific one, just make sure that it is for normal dry, itchy skin, eczema-prone skin, and I really like this one specifically because it does actually make you feel quite clean as well. I do find the ones that are very oily or very moisturizing, they do kind of they don't make you feel very clean at all, but this one is quite light, so I like that one a lot. And then when it comes to the actual shower temperature, so I'm sure most people have heard this before, but it isn't very good for your skin to have very, very hot showers. I personally don't really like very hot showers. I don't find them very pleasant. I know quite a lot of people, like Charlie, he likes like very, very hot showers. I like, and I prefer much sort of more warmer, kind of closer to body temperature, perhaps slightly under, maybe sort of around the 36, 37 degree mark. I don't know, it's not like I'm measuring the temperature, but my guess is that it's like there or thereabouts. So I also don't have very long showers. I would say I have between 5 and 10 minutes. And if I'm not washing my hair, I might even have less than that. So the reason again is that you don't want to have super, super long showers, because you don't want the water to penetrate too far into your skin, because obviously that means that again, when it comes to the drying process, there will be a greater risk of pulling out and drawing out more of that kind of natural moisture that is in the deeper layers of your skin. So if you keep your showers briefer, that is quite good. But having said all this, I think that, yeah, like I said, I do use showers as an opportunity to kind of add a little bit of extra moisture, and I do think if you're doing it properly, it can be quite nice and quite good for your skin. I'm at the shower now, and I had a super quick shower this morning. Because I wasn't washing my hair, I didn't put my head or my face in the water at all, and reason being is because I still have moisturizer left from this morning, and I think if you are constantly or doing too much of the kind of washing and then moisturizing, that's also kind of counterproductive. So if I'm not washing my hair, there's no reason for me to put my face in the water. I just did a very quick body wash. So now that I'm at the shower, I will be very liberal and make sure that I put some moisturizer on after my shower, especially when my skin is still damp. So I've mentioned this before, but the reason being is why you want to put it on when it's still damp is because that is when you have some of that kind of excess water from the shower, and using moisturizer on top of that will help to lock that in. And I also think I find that it feels a little bit less harsh than if you were putting moisturizer straight onto dry skin, especially in areas that are sensitive or already a little bit irritated. So the one I use is Cetaphil, and this is the lightweight, I would say, moisturizing lotion for dry and sensitive skin. I always talk about this one, but this one I use all over my body, whether it's a problem area or not. I literally just put that all over my body, and that helps to protect the healthy skin, as well as it does kind of relieve some of the areas that are a little bit perhaps irritated or a little bit more eczema prone. So I'm going to put this on now. I'm not going to do that on camera because I will almost definitely flash you, and that would make this video a different type of video for a different type of channel, shall we say. So I'm back in the bathroom, and reason being is I thought that this would be quite a good opportunity to actually start talking about some of my problem areas and how I am dealing with those areas specifically, as opposed to just kind of looking after my skin all over. So if you have watched my videos, then you will know that my problem areas are kind of around my lips, my neck, and also around my hands. I think these are quite common problem areas. I would say quite a few people, especially sort of around the hands. So at the moment, my finger is probably quite itchy at the moment, sort of all over, a little bit here, and also in between my knuckles, but of course, nowhere near as bad as they have been previously. So fingers crossed it doesn't get much worse than that. The moisturizer that I am using for my hands is this E45 Eczema Repair, and it is specifically for people with eczema. It helps to repair the skin barrier, and I use this quite liberally sort of throughout the day as soon as I feel like I need to. And especially now that we are all washing our hands a lot more or using disinfectant, then this has been really, really good. I also always make sure that I protect my hands from any kind of contact with things that I know that I'm sensitive to, and this is especially important when I am cooking. So if I'm handling raw food, I will always wear these kind of plastic gloves at the moment, and I know this isn't very environmentally friendly, so if you have any other sort of suggestions to a solution to this, then I would welcome that. But at the moment I do need to protect my hands, so I do use these very thin rubber gloves, and I think that that has probably been the main thing that has helped my skin from getting that sort of very sort of flary, eczema-y type of skin. So that's what I use on my hands. I do also sometimes, very occasionally, use this moisturizer, which is quite a thick one. It is the La Roche-Posay Lipicard Balm. I know a lot of people really like this, so you could try this one out at home as well. For me, I can only use it very occasionally. It's far too thick for me, and if I use it too much, my skin does just tend to get even drier, but it's okay on my hands and my fingers. I might even squirt a little bit on there now as I'm talking to you. But so yeah, so that is what I would use on my hands. So now moving on to my lips and my sort of lip area, which is always a bit of an issue for me. And this area is particularly difficult because I find that unlike the rest of my skin, just like slathering on moisturizers on my lips can actually make them a lot worse. And it's just about being able to recognize when it needs something on it and when it actually just needs to be left alone. When I feel like I want to put something on it, I will most of the time just use castor oil. That is my favorite thing for my lips. More than any other product. I occasionally use a bit of Vaseline, or I occasionally use, something else, but it gets very easily irritated by other products, but this is okay, castor oil. But of course, like I said, for the most part, my lips do just like to kind of be left alone. I do drink a lot of water and I drink a lot of herbal teas, and that I find is kind of the most effective, and just kind of making sure that I don't pick them too much, which is a terrible habit, and I still do it. And then finally, my final kind of problem area is my neck. As you can see, the reason my neck gets so irritated, the thing that I've noticed irritates my skin the most around my neck is sweat and damp, and that is probably why, and the same reason that lots of people get it here, I get it here. That is just a very sensitive area for me, and there isn't, again, all that much I can do to prevent that, other than firstly, I always make sure that I kind of jump in the shower quite soon after I have exercised, because that is when it tends to get quite sweaty, and I also make sure that it doesn't get too sweaty underneath a scarf or a hoodie or those kind of clothes that you wear when you're trying to keep yourself warm. So again, there's a balance between having sort of exposure to sort of cool air, but also keeping it warm and not too cold, because if it's too cold then it does get drier. I don't use any particular products here other than when I do moisturize my face, which isn't that often. I do just kind of bring it down to my neck, but this is an area that if I put moisturizers on there, it gets very itchy, so I can't use that much moisturizer here at all. I do just try and keep it exposed and keep it cool, and try not to itch it as much as possible. Very difficult. mention, and what I have been using is when my skin is feeling particularly dry or particularly itchy, is I alternate between a Dead Sea salt bath or an emollient oil bath. So the Dead Sea salt is just something that I found in a health store down the road. You can find them pretty easily, I would say. If you can't find them in an actual shop, then you can order them online. And this is very, very good if your skin is feeling very, very itchy. If your skin is feeling very dry, then I go for something like this, which is an emollient bath oil. So you just get a cap of this and you pop this into your bath water, and then you soak in the bath for about, I'd say at least 15 minutes. That's how long I do it. I won't do them on the same day. So I'll either do a Dead Sea salt bath on one day and then maybe an emollient bath oil on the other day. You can also use this in the shower, which is really good. So you just pop a little bit of that stuff onto a sponge and you kind of rub it all over, and then you can use that if you're in a bit more of a hurry and you don't have time for a bath. So that is quite good. But yeah, so that is really, really key if your skin is feeling very dry, very itchy, and you're kind of doing all the other things, you know, like drinking lots of water, moisturizing, and you still feel like it needs a little bit of extra bit of TLC, let's say, then yeah, sea salt baths and emollient oil baths, and use those on alternate days. Really, really helpful. It really, really helped me last week when my skin was feeling very dry and very itchy. You can also use them, you know, when your skin is feeling fine and you just need a bit of like something to look after it, a bit of like prevention, I suppose, a sort of prevention method, then this is very good for that as well. So yes, if you haven't already, definitely invest in sea salt and emollient bath oil. So I hope you guys found this video interesting and useful. If you have any tips or suggestions that you want to share of how you are looking after your skin in the winter, definitely do leave that in the comment section down below, and I will be making a follow-up video very soon on a kind of what do I eat in the day video, especially around the winter holiday season. So if you want to see that, remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Bye!